Okay, great. Take off the old headphones here and try not to hit the mic anymore so we don't get any more of the staticies. Um, Hi everybody. Uh, this is going to be a very probably the most painful stream I've had. I've got a real bad back problem and not good, not good. So I'll try to get through this as best I can tonight. Well, first of all, okay, stop. First of all, it's been pointed out to me that I should introduce myself. So I'm Brian Finley. Um, I've been animating for about 23 years now, and these live streams are a way for me to share with you some of the things I've learned and are trying to learn, and just share part of my journey on the animation front. So tonight's stream, we're going to be trying to lay down the thumbnails for a new commission we got. And I'm pretty excited about it because it's a dystopian fantasy piece with like mutant scorpion things and, um, a pretty cool little world that my client has invented. And I think it's actually, I think they do like a game. I think it's part of a game thing they've created. Um, so I don't know. It's really cool. I've done a few commissions for him based on this world, this universe, and they're always super cool ideas. And they seem to enjoy my animation style mixed with comic book style, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't quite know, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Tonight, I'm just trying to get the thumbnail and the basic composition nailed down. I think I'm in too much pain to really do draw overs and take it to a polished piece. But if I'm right, um, the my buddy who commissioned me to draw this, he's going to be joining on chat and kind of offer some real time. Yeah, I like that. I don't like this. That that type of thing. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna wait a moment or two and see if he pops up. But cheers. Got the old French vanilla hazelnut coffee going. Normally, I don't drink coffee at this time of the night, but I don't know. It's good for a treat. So, part of the issue I'm having with being involved in the streaming world is I keep forgetting to switch from scene to scene. I'm really going to try to get a perfect stream tonight where I switch to the work screen and I switch back appropriately to the full camera view. Right now, my big fat ugly face right up there for you to see. I'll try to spare you that as much as possible. So yeah, I'm gonna get started, and my buddy will join in when he joins in there. I'll switch over to the work screen right now. There we go. Okay. So part of the parameters, I've got a whole bunch of reference artwork to look at when I start doing the details of this drawing. But for now, the basic parameters are there's going to be a lady dangling in a cage over a pit of mutant spiders with a commissioner off to the side throwing judgment at her, basically screaming judgment towards her. Um, so with with that being said, I'm already thinking, well, where do I want the audience to be? And I'm thinking, well, I kind of want the audience to be down low. So, but I gotta kind of figure out so if they're all I'm trying to figure out what I want for perspective. I kind of want the pit to go a little deeper than that. And these are all my like perspective lines, and then the ground plane is so I've got a bit of a 3-point perspective composition here. Yeah. And I want the audience to be down with the scorpions. So okay. This is going to be like a real loose guide. Move the old jab out of the way. Nope. What do I want? Yeah. Okay. So it's more of a 2-point, I guess. Well, 3-point, because there's a bit of a vanishing point going off here too. Ground plane, I'm going to have it going up to wherever the vanishing point is, where all these lines are going to. So okay. So I have this idea in my head of the cage. The cage is almost like swinging. And I want it swinging just so that, oh, Faye, what are they doing up there? I want to have it swinging just so that we can see inside it. But the characters, ultimately, they're going to be pretty tiny. So if bars, right? And then scorpions. I want to have like here, there's some kind of like preachy pulpit type thing. Be some guy standing there, arms out. I might crop in a bit more just so we get more detail on the characters, but I am envisioning this being like a very, very wide shot. Oh. And I don't know about like what type of rocks I'm gonna want for the pit here, but we'll figure it out. Maybe even scale her up. Yeah. Oh, look at that. We've got some activity happening in the chat here from Liggy22. Is it Liggy or Iggy capital I smaller case I? No. Says, "Hi, I'm here as promised." Well, I'm glad you're here. Fantastic. Okay. So if she's going to be swinging in the cage there, we're working on a dystopian art piece that is a commission from a buddy of mine. He's got this sort of video game, not video game. It's like a role-playing game. And so we're doing this as part of that universe. And I don't know how that works. Like when they get together to play the game, or do they do it over chat? I have no idea. Like if they get together to play the game, surely he's not lugging around all these art pieces he commissions to have done of this universe. So I actually don't think I'm gonna have a flat ground plane. So, So if this is a commissioner guy up here throwing judgment, she's freaking out because she's dangling in the cage, kind of being dropped down. Then how do I want to put the scorpions in? So, and I want to show the scorpion scale too. I think one thing I definitely want, and I thought about this earlier today, I was sitting around thinking about this piece. I'm not sure how the segments of a scorpion tail work just yet, but I want to have like a skull hanging with the rib cage and the vertebrae from the stinger, and for a couple reasons. It looked kind of cool, I think, as an idea to have that, but also it gives scale, a sense of scale between the character and the size of the scorpion. So the other thing, I'm not entirely sure how a scorpion claw, how the anatomy for those work. So I'll be researching that for, not like that, I'll tell you that. The bodies are kind of flat. Actually, I think just one scorpion is going to be just fine for this drawing. So as I mentioned, I'm having huge back problems, and every second of this is excruciatingly painful. So tonight's goal is to get my buddy, who hopefully will be tuning in here, to give me a thumbs up on the layout and the overall composition of the thumbnail. And whenever I do client work, I like to do that. I get the thumbnail signed off first. And then I move forward into details. There's some kind of seam that goes along the edge of their body down there. I think a claw reaching, these claws have to be never seen a scorpion reach up with their claw. They will push up on their legs to angle their whole body up and kind of reach out. So I think that's what's throwing me off. There we go. That's what I gotta do. Yeah. See what happens when you think. That's the center line. And all of this is like a weird armor. I'm gonna have to. I gotta look up imagery of scorpions. I've actually drawn them before, but I can't remember anything about it. Hey. Aha. Okay. So seems to me, from what I can see here, they've got okay. So 6 legs plus their 4 arms. So arachnid of, so they have 8, but their pincers are like their arms are the they don't use them for walking. Okay. They have like the muscle, the pinching bulbous muscle. And their actual pincer like claw is quite thin. I'm just trying to figure out how I want that arm to go. Because I don't want I don't want the negative space to eat up the skeleton. Like I want that to be a clear, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to figure out how so they've got the muscle for the pinch, this forearm, and then a shorter connecting. Okay. I'm going to move that tail. It's the only way around it. Yeah, I love the idea for this composition of putting the audience right down with the scorpion. So the skull will hang, vertebrae, rib cage, and so muscle for the pinch. Okay. And we'll have like another claw over here, sort of indicating another scorpion, but this scorpion's breaking the picture plane. So we'll actually overlap this one a bit. So I'll find out. I'll draw that one on a separate layer when the time comes. So, and there's got to be like a crowd of people around the rim. And the crowd of people is all like, yeah, killer, killer, killer. I suppose. But this cage and the cage design, I got to put thought into that because it's got to fit this dystopian world, right? So, according to the group of who these people are, I guess in this world there's different factions. Some are more downtrodden than others. Some are, I guess, kind of like Hunger Games. How Hunger Games has, like, you know, the rich people are living on, you know, whatever they call their city. Nope. Us. So one thing that's happening right here that I'm not liking is where I've got this. I'm creating all kinds of tangent issues. And actually, I think I can scale that up just a bit more. That's too much. Unless I raise it up a bit. So she's being lowered into the pit, but by what, right? So there's got to be a boom sticking out here of some kind. Some kind of boom. And then the chain. I don't know if I like the chain, the swinging. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of do, because it could be like a rapid fall too. It just occurs to me I wasn't even supposed to start drawing this until he showed up on the stream. Oh, man. That's okay. That's all right. Because any feedback, this is definitely the time you want to start adding, like doing your changes, right? Absolutely non-issue to do changes at this point. I mean, the only thing you lose is a few scribbly lines. So, Liggy, what are you working on? Are you still there? Did you realize I'm a horrible streamer and take off? I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you.
If only your streaming skills were as good as your drawing skills. No, wait. We'd still be pooched.
Yeah. Thanks, Finn. Finn making an appearance. The Finn is basically the avatar for my inner voice of all insecurities, apparently. Definitely likes to remind me of what I'm not doing right, that's for sure. Okay. So gotta somehow figure out her pose in this. Bars come down off there. There'll be some kind of rim there. We'll see through the entire cage. There's no solid paneling except for this floor. But, oh, you know what we could do? What would be kind of cool? What if we had another row of people up higher? Right? I'm thinking of that scene, remember in Wakanda? When like all the delegates were up on the waterfall, and it was just like layers and layers of spectators. So maybe that's sort of something we want to, because that gives us much cooler options for composition here and really show off the perspective of this pit. These are all people looking down. So that's our first row of people. Comes around. This is our commissioner. He's like the judge. He's carried out sentence on our woman in the cage here, who is like, I think she's a rebel leader or something like that. Okay. So that has, I don't know, I think that's kind of a cool idea. Like he says, I'm here. Good. Thoughts on the thumbnail? Take a minute here and get some thoughts. Oh my goodness. So much back pain. It's kind of like, it's a lot to get into one picture. A lot of art direction for one picture. So when I do a draw over for this, I'm gonna have to really watch my perspective here on this pillar thing. Probably make these people, they'd be bigger there. This, and then we'll have like peaks. So it's almost like a place of ritual. Like they do this. They've done this to many other unfortunate souls. Yeah. I am, like he says, I'm a bit slow when typing. That's okay, so am I. But right after that, very generous with your comment, because you and I both know the truth. Your sketch looks very good. I don't even think this would qualify as a sketch per se yet. I think it's something that is still a big heaping pile of chaos and intention. Maybe sketch. I don't think we're quite there, but I think we have the blueprints to do a draw over and kind of figure out what does the sketch version of this look like for sure. And one thing, the thing that's going to be key is the proportions of the human in the cage. Let's see if I can rough it in real fast. Figure out what the nope. Hand over here, shoulder up, panicked. This is the floor. This is still, I'm still thumbnail. Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay, I did it. Whew, good. I thought I forgot to switch again. So far, I got a perfect stream. Perfect for me, meaning I remembered to switch my scene. Okay. So she's looking down. And she's supposed to be wearing some kind of like beret. Beret, is that how you pronounce it? Beret? For the military hat. Okay. So should we freaking out? Staring down at the Scorp. She's got this beret on. Kind of short hair. Uniform, not really going to focus on that just yet. Just want to get the gesture of the pose down. I'm not sure how bosomy she should be, but she could have just trying to keep in mind some of the that's okay. Something to that effect anyway. I don't know. I don't remember offhand from the art reference what the uniform is. I did something like I guess World War One fatigues. So, and on her, I imagine it would be somewhat baggy, and just trying to keep in mind all of my perspective for. Okay, so I can work off that anyway. She's in the cage. About to be cut up by her very dear friends, the scorpions. Yeah. I think I like that composition. We do a cool chain, right? That the chain will like go in perspective. The links will get tiny and tiny and tiny way up here, and then much larger here, right? By the way, drawing chains, so annoying. So annoying. But cool. Enchanted Hero says, hello. Hello, Enchanted Hero. Are you drawing a gladiator ring with a pit? No, I am drawing a scorpion pit. There are big mutant scorpions at the bottom. There will be a lady in a cage being lowered down into the mutant scorpions, and people around on different levels of I don't know what you call it, not stands, but like different tiers of viewpoint looking down. Like they're all in agreement with this guy right here. This guy is the judge, jury, executioner kind of thing. I know it just looks like a blob right now, but this is the process, people. This is how it starts. So say right, he's saying shouting something very judgy and actually okay. I don't remember the costuming because I just got the artwork, not the reference artwork. Like I think earlier today, some of it last night. So there's this judge guy. I don't remember if he's wearing robes or. Let's imagine he's not wearing robes for now, just so I can. We'll We'll see under the, maybe he's got his head up like that. His arms would come out a bit further, I think. I don't remember the costuming. Keep in mind his chest. I'm still drawing like basic shapes and scribbles and lines because I'm searching. You know, that's my process. Right now I'm playing all these what if kind of games in my mind's eye, right? Like what if his pose was more like this and that and the other thing? That hand's way too big. Because it's easier to play what if at this stage than like get way down the road in like a really detailed sketch, and then you're like, no, I think I want to change it more like this. I'd rather do that like at this stage and play a whole bunch of variances and ideas, and then when I'm happy, then I go in and I put all the pretty details in as best as I can. Okay. So yeah, I think I like this. I like this composition quite a lot, actually. And I think it tells the story pretty good. I think the eye direction, I think there's a flow to it. Yeah. This will be a foreground claw, and it will be slightly blurred out just to sell the depth of field. Like it belongs to a scorpion that's in back of the camera kind of thing. Call that breaking the picture plane. Breaking the picture plane is when you have an element that appears to go past you. Like here, see this kind of 3D cube? It appears to go, when I sketch it, it appears to come past the camera. That's breaking the picture plane. And it's a really cool way to immediately bring your eye into a drawing. I'm not 100% sure on the flow of this per se. This here is going to be human skull, hooked. This is vertebrae, ribs, vertebrae, hanging off of the stinger of this scorpion. But I have reference for how these scorpions should look. So, I mean, really, they're just sort of like tanks, right? They've got all the different armor and whatnot. So, and then like, you know, in terms of how the contour or the what's the word I'm looking for? Contour? Is it contour? The volume. That's what I'm looking for. The volume. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm drawing the front here, the volume and the perspective. So this should come out a little bit further there. And I can't remember what's at the front there, but we'll figure it out. Hey. Liggy22 says a very good approach to drawing. Well, that's how I was shown, and it works really good for my ADHD as well, um, because it lets me just jump all over the page real quick and kind of burn off that anxious energy of looking for what I'm trying to accomplish, and then eventually I focus in, if that makes sense. Like it's I used the analogy in my last stream, but it's like when you're bringing a out of focus lens into focus. This process is me doing that for what I'm drawing, and it can take a whole bunch of scribbles like this, and I could flatten it and draw over top of it again, refining a little bit, and then flatten that, draw over top of it again, and keep doing that until I get it to situate like a point where I'm like, okay, that's as good as I can do right now with what I know, where my skill is at, that type of thing. So this right here is what we call a thumbnail. Now I'm drawing the thumbnail at like the full image size because I like to combine my thumbnails with my composition when I'm doing a illustration. So I will often draw them full size. It just helps me figure out my negative space and my where the eye is supposed to look and whatnot. So the one thing I'm gonna struggle with is this boom. I really need to sell that it's hanging over the pit. I think to do that, I'm gonna draw it coming back, and I'm gonna draw like, it would make sense, I think, if there were like support beams on each side, maybe. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Let's take a second here. Check out chat. Chat's very active tonight. I love it. I wish my back wasn't hurting so bad. I would love to do a 3-hour stream with everybody. What size canvas do you usually draw on? Great question, and it always depends on the project. Usually, if I'm doing a commission, I try to draw a really big resolution. So in this case, the image, look at that. I remembered to switch over. Sorry, I get real proud of myself because I've screwed up about 3-4 streams by forgetting to switch over. So let's see. Image canvas size. I think it's 27 by 40, which is movie poster size. I try to do it big so that knowing that when I give the digital file to my client, I don't know what their intention is for printing. So I want them to have as many options open to them as possible. If they want to get it printed on a big giant blanket, I don't know. I've had people, sorry, very unprofessional. I've had people print stuff on shower curtains. I've been sent photos of people getting vehicles wrapped. So I never know how big they're gonna print my drawings. So I usually do movie poster size for a one-off illustration. If I'm doing a comic book, then it's your standard comic book size, or the template. There are templates you can download and stuff. And if I'm animating, 9 times out of 10, it's 1920 by 1080, which is full HD. Sometimes I have to animate in 4K, which is just double the resolution pretty much. So, yeah, I like this. I do. I like this. I like this because there's it allows for the story to be told. What I mean by that is we can see the woman in the cage, see her reaction to this big giant monster that we can see not in its entirety, but we can see enough of it to be bothered by it, right? Be like, holy crap, that's a big scary thing. This foreground claw, I may or may not keep it. I'll see. I do want to kind of imply that there's more than one scorpion in here, although I'm not sure how important that really is for the sake of telling the story. So, but I do enjoy drawing creepy crawly things for sure. Just trying to keep in mind my perspective volume. Like these are curving away from me in perspective. This is so one thing I'm noticing about scorpions, their pincers are are they share the same curve. Like a lobster or a crab kind of goes like this, but I'm noticing for a scorpion, like they both share the same curve, like this. So I just have to keep that in mind as I'm drawing it, and I'm trying to keep the right perspective in mind too. That's, yeah, I don't know. This might be a little bit too long. I'll have to in between tonight and next Monday night when I'll draw the detailed draw over of this drawing. I'll be doing a lot of side sketches of the scorpion and little like tiny thumbnails on my iPad, basically, of the uniform stuff. So when it comes time for me to do the final draw over of this, my mind is very very up to date on how everything should be looking. These pillars, rocky pillars. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That is pretty good. So is the thumbnail approved? I guess is the big question. I'm going to save a version of it anyway. I'll do that off stream, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Wow, that's great. Nice, confident lines. What is it?
Finn, Yeah, my confidence booster. Thanks very much. If you think it's so easy, you could do it yourself. The other thing I gotta decide is what these people are going to be wearing. Um, I would love for them to be in hooded cloaks, but I don't know if that's the right outfit for who these people are that are judging our poor rebel leader here. So there we go. Have one claw open. Yeah. this poor skull dripping. I definitely want that. I don't know why, but it's like my favorite part of this whole thing. Such a gruesome fate for our lady here. So yes, Leggy22 says yes, the thumbnail is approved. Okay, thank you very much. Then I shall move forward with it. Do you want me to send you a copy? Yeah. I guess that's the big question. I really like the composition. Thank you very much. That's just so that you guys don't think I'm making up these compliments here. Liggy22 said I really like the composition. I kind of do as well, and I will refine it more as I'm drawing. But I think like for the blueprint that's all a thumbnail is meant to be. It's a blueprint, and most people can't even understand them when they read it unless you have some kind of training. Either you work with an artist, if you're a client, you work with an artist, you sort of learn how to read their thumbnails, and you get to know their process. Um, but a lot of people, a lot of people can't even read a tie down. I can't tell you the amount of clients I've sent a rough sketch to, and I'll say, keep in mind, this is just a rough sketch, like totally rough. And then I'll send it, and it's just like white with lines, but it'll be tied down. It's like all the information is there, everything is on model, all of the details are worked out and refined. And I can't tell you the amount of times they'll come back to me with like, okay, but are you gonna like do more? Are you gonna color it? Yes, this is just a rough sketch. It's rough. This is the stage before that. So what I learned over the years is I have to educate my clients to my process as I go, and I do that before I even start drawing now. I give them a roadmap of, okay, so my process, I'm going to send you something that's going to look very scribbly. And what the feedback I'm looking for at that stage is composition and story being told, if it's a illustration. So the client's like, okay, so I'm not going to see something pretty. I'm just going to see like kind of blocking something. Yeah, okay. And then we work on that. We move on to the next thing. Okay, now I'm going to send you a tied down rough. And what I'm looking for at this stage are all the details looking the way you want them to look based on the art direction you've given. They also in thumbnail stage, I tell them this is where you need to tell me add this, take this out, change whatever, because When it gets to the tie down stage, it takes more time to do that, right? When it gets to the clean up painted stage, unless you have more budget, you're out of luck because you didn't call it out in the 2 previous stages. So you have to sort of set your client's expectations before you even put a line down on your canvas. So I'm just noticing one thing about the composition that I don't like. Sorry, I totally squirreled out. That's the old ADHD coming out. If you notice, I just circled part of the claw here, and I just want to rotate it a bit. And if you draw yourself, you understand why. It was creating a bit of a tangent with the line of the pillar. This line right here. Oh, this line right here. The claw was kind of blending in with that line, and whenever I can see them, I try to avoid tangents. I don't always do a great job at it, and I don't think every artist does. I think we're all guilty of having tangents from time to time. Where one thing, like if you have a can of soup, let's pretend this is a can of soup or a glass of water, okay? And then right under it, you have another can of soup, so they're stacked on top of each other. Technically, this is a tangent because these lines are running into each other. What looks better is you have a can of soup and then just slightly offset, you have the second can of soup, just so it's just off. Your lines aren't perfectly flowing into each other like that. So yeah, there's a lot to think about when you're doing a drawing, for sure. So, okay. All right. Well, with that being said, this was our goal tonight, was to get this far, to get the blueprint of this drawing done. The perspective has to be worked out a bit better, and my cliff lines, here have to be done in a way, again, that I'm not creating tangents, right? So I'll be very mindful of that during the final process of doing a draw over. So it's a lot to think about as you're drawing. So next Monday, we'll be revisiting this. Monday's stream will be a full-length stream. I just can't this week. You wouldn't believe the amount of pain I'm in right now. My back. Wednesday and Thursday, or Wednesday and Friday of the, you know what? Did I forget to switch over again? No. Crap. I guess I blew it. That's okay. I was just saying that my cliff lines here have to be worked out in terms of the proper perspective lines and the tangents and whatnot. I don't remember if I switched over or not. Anyway, yeah, it's difficult.
Ooh, did you mess up again, big fella? Did you? I'm sure they didn't notice.
Right. Fingers crossed. Anyway. Okay. So we'll see you next Monday for this sketch. And we'll just revisit chat here just for a minute. Oh, geez. Liggy22 says, I just started taking commissions myself. Could you give me some tips? Well, like, it all starts with educating your client and tell them exactly what they're paying you is going to buy. Like, some artists don't give their client a say. They just say, I'm going to draw this for you. I want 50% up front and the other 50% on delivery. When you deliver the final, unless you trust your client, I always put a watermark on it until they pay you. And you don't have to be mean about any of this, but you will find that people will try to get a lot more out of you than what they're paying for. So you got to watch for that. Don't let people take advantage of you, and make sure you're charging enough too. People, it always works out. The people who pay the most are the easiest clients to work with, the least demanding. I don't know why that is. Clients you give a deal to, always, almost 9 times out of 10, are the most entitled, and will try to squeeze every drop of blood out of your good-natured, if you've given them a deal on a commission. So be mindful of that too. But yeah, in the beginning, tell your client, my process is this. At these stages, I'm looking for this type of feedback. This is where you can change things. Beyond this point, you can't make changes. That's my best tip for you. Enchanted Hero, for an hour of work, it looks really good in terms of idea. Oh, it's very nice of you to say. I appreciate that. I would like to be much further along in it, and usually I can. I can. But there's something about the streaming process, drawing in front of people. It freaks me the heck out. Normally, I'm the kind of artist. I got the old earphones here. Put them on. Put a real inappropriate podcast on, and just the day disappears, and I get a lot done. But when you're streaming, there are, I want these streams to have a value to anybody watching us. So I'm trying to take the opportunity to teach, kind of, not really teach, but so I'm sure there are many that are going to check in, spend 1 minute, watch me, and go, oh, I'm better than him, I'm out of here. And I get that. It's cool. But yeah, I mean, I've been working in animation for 23 years, and I've worked shoulder to shoulder with some real, like, godlike mentors. And they've taught me, well, everything I know. So if there's anything I can pass on to others, why not, right? So, Enchanted Hero, hope your back gets better soon. You and me both. I'm supposed to go teach tomorrow morning, and it's going to be, if it's anything like today, it's going to be a horrible day. Leggy22, thanks for the tips. Enchanted Hero, generous clients are probably really interested in good relationships with other people. Kind of a wild guess. Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. And I think people who are willing to pay the higher fees are, it's always been my experience that they've been around and they are not, I don't know, they trust more. Has been my experience. So, Leggy22, what projects have you worked on during your animating career? Oh, well, so a lot of projects I've worked on have never seen the light of day. I would say probably about 60 to 70% of my career have been working on projects either app related or independent productions, meaning the people went out and fundraised and got the money themselves, and I did animations for and stuff like that, and the projects never crossed the finish line. And that was the case right up until about 2011. and then I got hired by Disney. And that was I worked there for about 3.5 years, um, and had an awesome time. Like every day of work was like, when you look at a Disney movie at the extras on a DVD, they show you behind the scenes. Every day of work was that like that. I I worked for the Club Penguin brand. Um, Sorry, it's not professional. I apologize. Um, and but I didn't work in the game art. I worked on the marketing team, and we did animated shorts. We did television commercials. We did crossover branding with like Marvel and uh, Monsters Inc. and the Muppets. I mean, I storyboarded a short that the director of the Muppets directed according to my storyboards, which just blew my mind. Like, because he's such a, I don't know, he's amazing. I can't remember his name. I have a problem with names and numbers. I forget them like that. Um, anyway, it was tremendous. Um, and then after that, I worked at Braun Studios on their 3D feature film Henchmen. Didn't turn out anything like what was pitched to us artists that were applying to work on it. It it didn't it didn't measure up to the proof of concept animation they had done, which is unfortunate. But I think it might have been a situation of biting off more than you could chew, kind of thing. Um, Worked on some PBS shows and excuse me. Um, yeah, so and I still do a lot of video game stuff for like apps and whatnot, and I kind of enjoy doing that the most. I don't know why, but I really enjoy concepting the idea, designing the characters, and you know, um, there's something about animating a character that I can control at the same time that I really enjoy. So, and I've done 3D animation. My last 8 months at Disney was on the 3D animation team. They trained me up, and I was doing character animation for some of the in-game stuff, but also some of the shorts as well. So, um, and then I've been doing a lot of teaching as well. So last year, we got funding to make our own independent film. If you go on Tubi and type in Ugwug, UG like WUG, space WUG, you can watch our movie. We had a micro budget, less than one person makes a year in the US to make the film. And we were able to do a CGI character. We were able to have an actual cast and a crew, and we got some sponsors, which was cool. Anyway, in the end, it aired on television, and then a distribution company picked it up. So we were quite happy with that. And it starred my daughter. So so anyway, Enchanted Hero says you were doing very well with streaming, in my opinion, chill and entertaining. Well, that's a relief to hear. My worry is that people will be bored with the process of drawing, and I know I'm talking way too much right now. I should just end it, because I'm not doing any more of the actual drawing tonight. We got this far. We got our thumbnail worked out. Next Monday at 6:00, we'll pick up from here, and I'll start doing the detailed draw over of this, putting it, all the clothing, the facial features, and get these scorpions down on model, because like I said, I've got reference material for them. I don't know where all the mutation points are. Like I think some of the armor has quite a few like weird spikes and that type of thing. So, but we'll take care of all that next week. In the meantime, I gotta go lay down, folks. I gotta go take some medication and put the heating pad on. I think it's a bit too much to sit right now, but I really appreciate everybody sticking around, and please share with your friends, and maybe next week we'll have more people here and keep that going and going. We're on buymeacoffee.com/another_sketch if you want to help out in any way. We will be putting a lot of cool rewards up there too. We've got a big plan for what we're offering people for 2024. It's just going to take time to roll it out. Anyway, okay, so we'll see you next week. Thank you.